What's up, everybody? I think Cody, your comment disappeared. I saw it. I liked it. It's like, oh, Steve dashing on a Friday. What's up, y'all? Yeah, I'm not. You guys know me. I'm doing this for. Mostly paratesting. Of course, I would like to make some money too. I am paused on the dash right now. I am 2 minutes away from me ending this pause. So sorry I was late. This is not going to be super long. It's a Friday night. You guys know I'm probably ain't going to see much either. And but let's see. Let's see if I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be wrong. As the title reads, bottom feeder. I am, and you know, I refuse to play the game that this year will be ended one way or another anyway. Acceptance rate's gone, guys. So I know. And trust me, I hear the other side of that pill. I hear the side of, dude, just do it, just do it so you get the better offers and all that. And I get that. I guess I just can't wait for the day that it's gone. That they live up to the standards of us being independent contractors. If they're gonna say we're independent contractors, then we're independent contractors. We can use every tool we want. We should be shown complete transparency. They have to follow those rules. So I think I find myself in a position where, yeah, I absolutely could, as Joe in Let's Play DoorDash does, I absolutely could play the game. And I appreciate Joe for doing that. I know why he does it. He has a full-time W-2. He is a part-time dasher. That's the worst traffic. Anyway, let me see who's in here and say hi. Oh yeah, Steve dashing on a Friday night. Let's do this. What's up, Cody? What's up, Edward? What's up, Traveler? How you doing? And hey, Ellen. What's up, Ellen? How are you? Haven't talked to you in a while. How are you doing? How y'all doing? Are you guys expecting me to do like really awesome here? Because here, let's. Okay, I'm back on. So I'm on. I am at my house. Again, guys, like when I dash, I have to schedule it. I don't know if I think most of you guys know that I have to schedule. I'm a bottom feeder. But the stats that are important, which again, all stats need to be looked at in relevance, but the stats that should matter, mine are great. My my rating, my completion rate, on time, all those are where those metrics are where they should be. The only one that's not is AR. And I'm sorry, but I've been an independent contractor in the traditional realm for too long to literally even allow that, to allow multi-tiers and AR. I mean, it's gotten so ridiculous. And for those of you who know, I'm definitely working with Mike Harubi. I know some people aren't. I only a couple, but I've had a couple people say to me like, "What? You're getting involved in legislation now. You're going to be part of the problem." To those people, I say, please come on the podcast with me. And I don't mean that as like I'm challenging you, but I'm trying to. I would love for anybody who is like, wait, that doesn't seem right that you'd be doing that. I think you need to learn what that legislation is, because I've said it a bunch of times, so I'm careful not to get into it every time we talk or anything, but you can go look up what the legislation is, and I'll definitely be talking about it a little more here and there, because as we approach March 11th. And again, on March 12th, if people are making videos going, oh, well, the Department of Labor rule change happened yesterday and nothing happened, so nothing's going to happen, then that's just crazy talk, straight up, because it will take a while to seep in and I mean, like even AB5 didn't have fine. It started on January 1st of 2020, and it didn't impose any fines until like June. Now people knew they were in trouble by like, 30, 40, 50 days in. They were starting to see that people were in trouble. People were getting ticketed. People were learning they can't be their own boss. But it's not bad, you guys. I mean, look, let me tell you this. In almost all the states, and even the red states, the true red states, they're making legislation that matters in a better way. Like I was saying, like, okay, Utah, for example, oddly, they were trying to have all that same stuff shoved down their throat. Hey, make a per minute, make a per mile, do this, do that. And they literally decided, no, this is not the answer to this problem. And they've used a lot of the words I use. They've said that this space isn't defined. This is this, that, the other. We don't like putting a dollar value on this. That's not free enterprise where we live in the United States. This is not but we need to find a fix. Their fix is along the lines of something I've talked about a lot, which is portable benefits. These are very important. People don't realize how important portable benefits are. As you get older, you see that we don't have it in this space. And my independent contractorship, when I'm doing like laser shows or anything else, that's a whole different animal. It's completely transparent, and I know how it works and everything. But with these gig apps, I think part of the middle ground is going to involve some kind of portable benefits. And I know people might argue, well, then you are an employee. No, again, you have W-2, you have independent contractors, and then somewhere in the middle there, because I know the traditional independent contractor side very well. I was doing it for 12 years before 2009 when Travis launched Uber. So, and that wasn't even nationwide when it got here in 2015, but so before any gig apps, I was doing this stuff. So I know how it works, and I know how the W-2 world works, and I know how the salary W-2 world works. And I've had both good and bad I've had two of them, and I've had one awful and one that is the laser company I still contract for. I started off for the first 2 years as a salary employee, and then I had an awful salary employee job. And those can be more abusive than making your own decisions. So, look, guys, between now and March 11th, you're going to hear me talking about it a lot. After that, you're still going to hear me asking to put the videos up. I hope, like Ellen and I'm trying to think if Cody's in here. He did. There are people putting up videos. Yost Malone did one the other day. Our friend Nathaniel in Portland did a great one the other day. Larry Duncan in Bowling Green, Kentucky. He's a good friend of ours. He did a great one. There's a lot of great ones. Pedro did one. Joe, let's do DoorDash did one. There's just I'm sure I'm gonna leave people out, but we need everybody to do one. It's not that hard. Look at Cody's in here right now. You guys can ask him. Ellen's in here too. You guys can ask them. Yes, I have been prodding people because even Mike Karubi said, well, how are we going to get people to do this? Because this was a whole new idea. And the idea is that every video made, because this hasn't been done before, every video made is like the equivalent of like 100 emails. So the 100 people that write in and say, hey, I hate the gig economy. I can't make the money that I see these other people liking. So I'm just going to write my congressman and say I want to be an employee in the gig economy. That is what is happening, and we don't want that because why? So we learned this at the town hall here. The senators and whatnot don't know that. They don't know what this does. They don't. They're hearing, again, they have their staffers and whatnot receiving all these emails, and they're reading through these emails, and they all say that these people are like, I'm not making the money that other people do in my area. I want to be I want to be an employee, I guess, because I can't work these apps for less than $10 an hour. And I'm thinking, I've said it a million times, you guys, not everybody's cut out for this. And I don't mean that this is I'm not saying that you need to go to special school and all that for that. I'm talking about not everybody belongs in the service industry, which I will translate to the app-based gig economy as well. Because look, I've ran bars, I've been a bartender, I've been a manager, I've been an owner. I've done the 80 to 100 hour weeks under, you know, for being an owner, like, you know, for very minimal salary that I'm cutting myself, but had very good paying years. I'd take bartending shifts. I'd make my profits for the portion of the bar I owned. So I was playing a different game. I was taking a very low salary that really was more just so my partners in the bar could get me onto a healthcare plan. So it was really about the healthcare plan. But I did have a salary. If I told you, you guys would be like, you're crazy though. But if I told you my end of year earnings those years, they were great. So you'd hear my salary, you know, and I guess I'll just put it out there. I mean, look, it was somewhere between 30 and 40,000 to run a bar, to be the GM of a bar that I also owned 10% of. So that's horrible. It had full medical and dental, still horrible though, the pay. And this was this was 2000 to 2005 when I did my second bar. But I also owned 10% of the bar. So to do better, I did better if I made the bar do better. To cut costs and run it properly, to do a good job, I did better. Also bonuses, things like that. And it just, in bartending shifts, in the end, those years, I made $120,000, $30,000 easy. But again, I'm telling you, I literally, like a W-2 type, took 1, maybe 2 weeks off a year. And other than that, I was lucky to get 2 to 3 days off a month, where I at least wasn't in there for 5 hours or something. Most days, and during baseball season, I'd be in there for 15 hours, you know, doing clopens and stuff sometimes. I mean, like, it's nuts. If the apps get rid of AR, then does that mean Dash now for all? Yep. So, hey, wait, Kevin Hawthorne, what's up? How you doing, man? Glad to see you here. Edward, so if they get rid of, yeah, so that, if you're not familiar, that's what's happening in Seattle right now. By the way, I am on Dash. I just saw a text from Big Geezer. It was pretty funny. But I am on Dash. It's there's nothing coming through. Now, I will be honest with you about this. I will be very transparent. I did have other things to do, and I was finishing up some computer stuff, and I had some personal things today, and I did curry this morning. I forgot that I scheduled this. So of course, what happens? A half hour before, I got a notification, hey, you're scheduled to Dash at 5 or whatever it was. And I did start it, pause it, start it, pause it. So I am not going to I can't give a good description tonight. If I don't see anything good, I got to put a little of that back on me, because I did start, pause, and I have a low AR. But I am out doing some parapulse testing. Now, back to your question, Edward. So does that mean Dash now for all? Yeah, 100% it does. And if you guys look at the Seattle model right now, that's what's going on up there. I talked about it last night. If you guys weren't on the line, or weren't on the live, in Seattle, I had a guy write me who has been doing, he throws in a little Rideshare too, or he used to. I don't think, maybe he doesn't do any anymore, but he was doing some Instacart and some DoorDash. He stopped Instacart. Now he only has been doing DoorDash leading up to this change. And he actually lives in the city of Seattle. It's not Omer and it's not Zach. It's somebody that I know that lives in the city of Seattle. listens to the audio podcast. Well, he contacted me and he said, listen, he said, and a lot of people always spit these stats out wrong. He said, listen, I agree. Seattle, just like every market, I mean, like literally when they made that change, yeah, everybody was expecting things and whatnot. I kind of had already seen this play out, but to be honest, this is the, I don't get too many texts. So when they did that, what happened immediately when they said that, hey, you have to pay them whatever it is, 80 cents a mile, 44 cents a minute, display red. You know, like what happened? And a $5 minimum on any order. That part I might be okay with. I think that's kind of, that kind of standard should just exist anyway. Nobody should be doing anything for under $5 that involves dealing with a business and a customer. I mean, that's just, yeah, anyway, that's something different. But so what happened? So DoorDash said, fine, we'll take that. We'll take that. What do they call it? Pay up is the legislation. It actually has a number reference too, but it's called pay up legislation in Seattle. They took the pay up legislation, and DoorDash and the other, but we'll talk about DoorDash specifically, passed the exact fee onto the customer immediately and line itemed it as that. Seattle's pay up fee for gig workers. Now, what did DoorDash also do? And Uber Eats. So I'm not just picking on DoorDash. They immediately said, hey, this is a perfect time to up the prices, on menu items with the restaurants. Again, mark them up. Again, let's go up a little on the service fee, this, that, the other. So in a lot of cities, this is happening. And, unless you're on the customer side of the apps, you probably don't know it. And even some people I know on the customer sides don't notice it because they're doing it ever so slightly that you really aren't noticing it as like inflationary, pricing or anything. So the pricing's going up, the order volume, nobody even wants to have the conversation with me about that it's down. We all know this. If you don't, we can just show you that in 100 news articles, stats, everything. There's just even the companies say our profits are up, but they, if they don't have to, they don't talk about the volume. So, bottom line, everybody's aware the volume's down. But what happened was DoorDash also said, fine, you guys wanted this. You wanted this active time BS pay, which I always say never worked. It didn't work for Rideshare in New York. It's failing the food apps in New York right now. Prop 22 was a mutated version. It wasn't supposed to encompass food, and we didn't know a pandemic was coming. When they made that, it was basically to help rideshare drivers. So that was kind of an accident, and it's still a mess. But up in Seattle, what happened? DoorDash passed all the fees on. They raised the other fees, and so did the other food companies. And now everybody can dash now anytime. Top dasher, tiers, they're gone. Everybody can dash anytime. And this is what we've always wanted, right? So how can I complain? I've always wanted, transparent. If you are 100% transparent, I can't get mad at the app. The only apps I get mad at are the ones that have any kind of gaming going on. And especially not showing you every damn detail, especially when they have it. So, okay, so where am I at with this? So everybody's able to dash now. So even the people who were starting to struggle in Seattle, my friend told me last week, he only dashed. This wasn't a multi-apping situation. He only dashed, and he did 43 hours dash time. Now, his active time, 2 hours and 58 minutes. Now, he told me that even for Seattle, that's 4 times worse than he was doing before the legislation. But to prove, again, how bad this is, again, for those of you going, oh, I don't agree with that, and I'm going to go look, go ahead, because what you'll find is that now the people who wrote this legislation are very worried, and they're trying to kill their own legislation. So they're trying to get rid of even the people who were involved in passing it are trying to get rid of the legislation they wrote in Seattle. Everybody knows it's a fail. And the customer volume in Seattle is down farther than it ever was. I mean, now it's really down and hurting. So that was a fail. So we know that doesn't work because DoorDash will come back and make drivers pay. They'll be pissed off, dude. They will take it out on any time. We've seen them take it out on their customers. Good Lord, dude. Who runs a business? And it's one thing. It's bad enough to take it out on the drivers, but to go, we're just not making enough money hurting these drivers real bad. Like, let's kick our customers in the junk too. Like, who the hell does that? That's bullshit, dude. And so what is the solution? The only solution that I have seen in some of the states' legislation and you guys aren't going to like this, you're not, is that, probably between Mike and my research and some other things, probably, and we haven't seen everything yet, but the ones we have seen, over 50% for sure. So let me just say that, because I was going to say closer to 70. But anywhere that is trying to push some legislation, absolutely, no matter if it's for money, perks, or portable benefits, if it's going to be for this, that, the other, no matter what they're pushing, one thing that they are all commonly pushing is a cap. They want a cap on every single day. If there's an event, they'll take that into consideration. It's the same way they handle the taxis. So think of the TLC, the Taxi and Limousine Commission of any state. Every state has one. When Seattle Rideshare model moved into that, I have no problem with that. Because to be honest, if you're doing rideshare, I don't know how the exact wordage should go, but I have no problem with it, because you guys smack that like if you're in here. Come on. Let's get some people in here. We guys see that there's some good people in here, but we don't got any likes. You guys are just listening. But I can see where that would be in there, right? I can see why a rideshare driver should be under that, because oddly, I've never drove a taxi, but I have driven a limousine, and I've done black car service for Denver Limousine. So I'm familiar with that too. And that has a lot of real independent contractor stuff that goes with it. So you're still allowed to be an independent contractor. So I can almost get on board with that fight. And it would help the drivers in the rideshare scenario. And I think that should be the case. But these food apps that are going, the cities realize, and there's a lot of factors here, guys. It's not like the city just says, hey, DoorDash, we'll pick on DoorDash. DoorDash, you got 5,000 drivers out tonight. We don't see any need for more than 1,000. Not only do they think it's abuse of the drivers to have that many out, they also don't want that many more cars out. They don't, and I know I'm using exaggerated numbers, but I'm just saying, they don't want everybody just sitting around doing nothing. Like I said, 43 hours for 43 hours for 2 almost 3 active. That's ridiculous, you guys. He made, I think it was like 58.75 or something. Just ridiculous. So to me, he didn't multi-up. That's 43 hours of work for $58 or whatever it was. That's a pivot time. But here's the thing. A cap is coming in almost all legislation, and I wouldn't be shocked for the legislations we've read, Mike and I, that don't talk about it if they add it, because it's the ones that I'm thinking of aren't to the point they can't add something yet. So why wouldn't they? Again, the TLC keeps a cap on taxis, on limousines. When they grant licenses to limo companies, they base how much you pay the state based on how many 16-foot, 24-foot extensions, how many all-terrain ones do you have, like the super big 24-seater, Hummers and stuff. And they need to know what you have, just like insurance does, to be able to say, okay, we can allow you this many. They need to know. They don't want because what it leads to is what we're dealing with: people fighting each other. You know, I need that, I need that, you know, and they don't want to see races to the bottom either. I mean, especially, you know, if you think like politicians suck. Yeah, most of them do. But to be honest, like you gotta follow them a little bit and just put the questions out there, because other people, if not you, like me or whoever, will jump on it, and you know, we'll get to the bottom of it, like Mike and I collecting those videos. But I do think none of you should be surprised that a cap will be coming. And here's the thing: will you be in trouble? No. What it's gonna, the way all of them read is major fines to the companies. So like, again, let's just make some numbers up, because that's something I don't have privy to. I would have no idea of the numbers. I do know that they're looking high. They want to fine them high. So let's say in a city, they say, hey, listen, on weekdays, you can have 100 cars. On weekday nights, you can have 500. On weekends, you can have 200 cars. And on weekend nights, you can have 1,000. They will now have real accounts of how many drivers are on the road. And now, and I'm sure there would be scenarios written into certain states, if we have an event, or if this, or, you know, if the convention center is booked and it's a small town that relies on this, and when it is booked, they're slammed. So that happens with taxi and limo too. They adjust those numbers for events and things. But if you were to go over that number, then you're going to get fined. So let's think about it like this: like the driver, you know, like we can't, what are you going to fine us? No. So let's say on that city, they're, you know, 3 nights that week they went over the capacity, because the apps feel like doing what they've always done and testing the waters. There might be $150,000 to $200,000 fine per instance. So it's the kind of thing where if you're thinking, what could this do? It will. It might not sound like a ton to you guys, but trust me, again, I just give you a scenario of a small city. We got the whole country. And if you don't think the government, after imposing things like that, will go after those companies to get their money, they absolutely will. And their hope is that kind of loss, on top of the fact that, yeah, a couple of these companies claim profitability, but they're not making profits. They're selling off departments. I mean, look, I mean, who was it most recent? DoorDash or Instacart that laid off or fired 120, and then one fired like 500 or 700 just recently. So if you're closing departments and firing people and claiming a profit, but nothing's really changed and volume's down, you're not making a profit. You're staging a profit. And I think it's a lot harder to stage a profit now that it's public than it was when these companies stayed private. FYI, this live stream's been going for 28 minutes. I don't have one DoorDash, and I'm not multi-apping. It is just open. ParaWorks is running in the back, or ParaPulse is running in the background, and I have not seen one. Now again, fairness here, you know, I did start dash pause, but again, it's because I had to schedule 5 days out for this shift. Like, oh, okay, you know, again, and those of you in here that are bottom feeders, I don't know, so many people have become top dashers, and again, I get why. I personally can't wait for it to go away, because it's illegal. And I think that it's about time these companies get smacked for that. But it's like Curry. Like, I'm glad Curry has a wait list. I'm glad Grubhub has a wait list. I'm glad for companies that have wait lists. It might not be perfect, but it shows that they are at least acknowledging, hey, listen, we're saturated right now. They're not saying we have just enough. They're saying we're saturated. So, of course, you still put your app. You still put your, you know, I still want to be on the app. I've been on waiting lists for a while. I mean, And then I know people who are on waiting lists for other apps for a long time. I know people who are on Instacart waiting lists right now. Instacart I got on in like a day and like shipped, same thing. And I was told at the time that I wasn't going to get on either very quickly. I'd be on a waiting list. I was on like the next day. So it just depends on your market, where you are. And these days, get on everything you can. But yeah, I mean, caps are coming. To be honest, I'm happy because all the other solutions that every other damn state is trying are failing. We talk about it all the time on the channels. It's not my favorite answer, but it's what they do for taxi, limousines, and cabs anyway. I know that if we're freelancers, is that the same thing? No, but that's not something they have to have that battle about. Well, they're freelancers. Yeah, well, still, we don't need you having 4,000 freelancers on the road when you need 100. So we're gonna step in here and say that you guys are shady as all fuck, So that was a pretty big answer, huh? Edward, I hope you're still even here. Cody, I can tell Steve is, I'm passionate about this, Cody. Yeah, one day, dude, they will, and they hear it, and dude, they hear this shit. Trust me. I'm tight with Brian at Legal Rideshare. I'm tight with a lot of the company's CEOs and David and I and stuff. And there's things that one day we'll talk about with you about people that have contacted us or people that have contacted us as a voice for other things. They listen, they've heard the podcasts, I don't know whose they listen to. I don't know who listens. I'm not saying any of this. It's not a big conspiracy. It shouldn't be a shocker. I mean, they do follow this stuff a bit. And, I look, guys, you know me. I'm going to make my money. I'm going to hustle. I always have. I got a son and it's just me raising him. So I'm going to make my money. I'm going to do well. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to keep doing my search and rescue. I'm going to get as many streams of income coming in as I can. I already got it a lot. And I'm going to keep diversifying the hell out of my portfolio. And for those of you who might be thinking, maybe not, oh, I wish I had those kind of options. I'm gonna have a little fun moment with y'all here. Remember, I'm older than most of you, so just saying, you got time. Maybe at your age I didn't either, but be aware and be looking for other opportunities. I'm not saying jump out of here. I'm just saying, just be aware. Just be aware, of your surroundings. Don't be shut down to anything. If somebody offers you something, there's nothing in the world that says you can't counter their offer. Hey, you want to work here as a W-2 employee and do this? And if you see a way and say, well, I don't really feel like standing around for hourly pay and I need flexibility, but I could do this, I could see how I help you. Don't be afraid to tell somebody an idea if you got one. I know I talk to a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys have very, very creative, interesting ideas. I love them. Would they work? I don't know, but you won't know either if you don't try. Get it, Steve? I am gonna get it, man. I'm pissed. And I hope fucking DoorDash is watching this. It's not the perfect example. If you are watching this, DoorDash, I did start and pause the dash twice. I apologize. I'm so sorry for scheduling time to put an extra dasher on the road, because I know DoorDash, you would never, ever, ever oversaturate a market. I know that. In fact, I know you're good people at DoorDash. But wait, what? Oh, never mind. You guys are scumbags, straight up. Gagan working Amazon, cool. I know Gagan does well with those. I feel like you always get home so late though, bro. I suck at writing. I'll say, what did Cody say? It took me 2 minutes total. I recorded it right before I ran to pick up an order. Yeah. So he's not lying, guys. I know it takes the shove and the shove and the shove, but to be honest, hit record, hold the phone out and just, say your 60 seconds, say your 30 seconds. We've had, both in. And then there's a Dropbox link. It's not in this video, but if anybody in here wants to grab it out of any of the videos, off the top of my head. If not, I'll put it into the to the show notes, but we'll see. But if somebody does have that link to the Dropbox, it's in a couple of the videos that were relative to that stuff. The examples, like the one with Pedro and Larry and stuff, it's in there. If you'd share it into here, because if you make a video, hi, I'm Steve. I work in the Denver market and I want to remain an independent contractor because I want to remain I prefer to be an independent contractor. Keep it positive. You could say I want to maybe leave remain out, but play with it. It needs to be your voice. But for me, hi, I'm Steve. I live in the Denver market. I prefer to work as a independent contractor as opposed to a W-2 employee. I have done both jobs for decades. I understand both systems. I pay my taxes, and I work legally in all independent contractor work I do. I work lasers, I work production, and in the downtime, I work the gig apps, or vice versa. Maybe, I need to do this, but I need flexibility. I have a son. I raise him alone. That's not mine, but there, I just off the top of my head did that. Now stop, upload, that's it. The link doesn't require you to log in or anything. You just click it and upload it. I suck at writing, I'll say it. Cody, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but yours was good. Look at guys, everyone has been good. Even Mike and I, we talk about every one. Mike's mainly on Twitter. He's been posting, he's slowly going to do them all, but he's been posting these, by the way. Like today, like Ellen was posted yesterday. Today, Boots was posted. And he was like, and Mike does these, Mike has a blue account on Twitter, so he can write a longer piece. And he does these, Boots is a dasher in Hawaii, and he wrote a really nice thing on Boots. He was like, he gets the independent contractor, the earning, the flexibility, and he goes, and the zen of delivery or something like that. It was pretty cool. These people want the apps to be exactly, and that's why if Mike is saying, listen, this has never been done, and every video that we're making is the equivalent of 100 to 100 plus of the emails that came in that the staffers had and told the senators or whoever they report to about, and that those senators are now saying they must all want to be employees if these people do, if all of them are coming in. Mike was putting the value of each of your videos at 100 emails. So, and remember, if you don't know and you haven't watched some of the stuff I've done with Mike, or you haven't followed this part of it, Mike has been working in DC for years, okay? And he's one of the few dead honest, and I've gotten to know him very well, just straightest shooter. He's everything that I applaud and like, and he's trying to do very good things for us, and has been for a long time. His main goal is independent contractorship. I mean, his legislation is less than a page, and it's that we have the right to be independent contractors. His legislation is called Be My Own Boss. I mean, it says it right there, and it is easy, and it's literally just kind of taking responsibility for it, because a part of the fight is that the government thinks that, especially in the gig apps and things like that, people are too stupid to understand what being an independent contractor is. And if you don't exactly know, that's not even what it's about. It's just it's almost like signing a box saying, I understand that I don't have medical insurance and that I'm not protected, and I understand I'm going to need to provide for myself, and that the market might be a little down and I will have to adjust. There's nobody I can go complain to. It's kind of like that. And with that, you would get an IC number similar to an EIN. And with that, that's your business number to be an independent contractor. Because as we learned in California, even an S Corp or an LLC, their EIN didn't matter. That did not get them out of AB5. So this would actually determine, and it would allow the gig apps in there too. So Cody, it's BS. If I want that, I'll go get a job. Exactly. And see, this is where I got Mike's attention big time in the beginning when we were talking, because he was trying to understand this from a perspective that he flies to DC from Massachusetts like weekly, and takes a lot of Ubers and stuff and talks to the drivers. But he wanted to understand like, so okay, what do they want? I'm like, so if everybody becomes employees, he goes, well, that model wouldn't work. It would crash and burn even under franchise. I'm like, well, exactly. And so him and I clicked right there. But here's my thing: these people who write in, I'm not even sure they want to be employees. They're saying this isn't working for me, but I can't make enough money. I just want to be an employee of these companies. I have a feeling that if the states did go, hey, well, fine, we're going to go to employees, I don't think you'd have a lot of people in line until all the other jobs were taken. All the other W-2 jobs were taken. Because really, like, nobody's like, I would be shocked if even the people writing in want to be W-2 employees for minimum wage for DoorDash. Really? I mean, to me, we're independent contractors. That's honestly, it's usually not the case, but we're the safest as independent contractors in this space. As an employee, you're just, I mean, they'll tell you where to be, when to be there. Flexibility gone. Even franchise needs to do that, and they absolutely need to have headcount of how many people have a certain area, because they're paying them. I mean, you can look at the Alto model. Why is Alto only in 2 cities and very much struggling? I mean, they're a rideshare company, and I've had them on the podcast as well. They were doing fairly well. A big thing I didn't like about that, their CEO is against tipping. I'm like, dude, these are employees. You're paying them like $19 an hour or $18 an hour. Like, come on, allow them to be tipped. People want stuff given to them. Too dumb to think. Cody's, or somebody, who was it? Cody saying like Steve's all passionate, and now Cody's all passionate in here too, man. I love it. Someone needs to teach how to gig health insurance. Yeah, well, that's what I was getting at, is the portable benefits. It's a really interesting one. Maybe, I don't know when. We need to talk about. I'll make it simple. Maybe I'll make it 13 minutes tomorrow. But I was going to tear into DoorDash a little bit. We'll see. But I might talk about the Utah portable benefits, because people should at least understand what they are. I think people have an idea, but they don't really understand what they could do. And they might view it like, well, dude, again, I'm not an employee. I don't want benefits. This is more of like a hybrid situation to a problem. So, open taxes, big thing. Okay. It would be fun to see the customer's side of ordering food in Seattle. Well, Edward, so you're familiar with California's, it's line itemed. I mean, so now they see everything. So the customer doesn't just see delivery fee and taxes. They see delivery, service, this. But I mean, in the end, they know what went to the driver. And all this just went up. All this just went up. So it's like, fucking kidding me, man? Like now you want them to pay more too, and you're being transparent with the customers and showing them, no, we rip these drivers off, man. We even rip you off. And they're like, yeah, they're not ordering as much because the prices went up. Well, sure, and inflation, but to be honest, I mean, I think that wasn't a real good promo. Just saying. Did DoorDash put out today that they are starting tiers in NYC next week? Hannibal sent me something about, I can't get to it. Hannibal sent me something about what was going on in New York City, and I briefly looked it over. But hey, did you know, man? What's up, bro? How you doing? Hope you and your pup are doing well, my friend. At BH, he gets more money than you. What? And I see, it looks like Ellen had to delete a comment of Mr. Doubtful's. And the BH comment is gone, so I'm not gonna view him. Mr. Doubtful, I'll give, unless somebody else deleted you here later down the line, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt until I see that there was an issue, because I try not to kick people out, and everybody in here is very good about that, you guys. So like, if if I ever see that people I know in here are kicking, or that have mod wrenches and stuff are kicking people out, you did something, because these people are they're pretty willing to talk all sides, and they know I am. So yeah, you must be crossing the line. I know I can hit C what the message was, but I just don't want to. I trust the mods enough. For 27 minutes, and so okay, so yeah, that was a while back. So no, 36 minutes, right? Or no, 45 minutes. Sorry, it was when I started this. 45 minutes, I guess 40, because it took me about 5 minutes to get over here, right? So Uber tonight, $8, 18 miles. Jesus. I mean, you know, it's better than what we talked about last night, but it's crap. So I mean, to multi-delivery service, so Uber tonight, $8 for 18 miles. I mean, last night on the roundtable, we had Brandon, Dashing Grandpa, and he was talking about triple stack Spark orders for $8. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Nola Grind, what's up, my friend? How you doing, buddy? $5 peak pay there as well. I think it's everywhere tonight. $5 peak pay where? I think it's everywhere. Maybe I missed something. I don't know. Did you know, Matt? It's stupid people are on wait lists for years, and I get on one day. I add another stream when I started selling my pee. Yeah, you know, guys, did you know Matt's quite the character? He's a funny guy. If you guys ever check out his channel if you never have. And even if nothing else, go check out his channel and watch some of his shorts. I love them. I think they're hilarious. You're still a young buck. Thanks, Traveler. I appreciate you, bro. That shouldn't matter. Yeah, I think you're okay. I must be getting. I now think I know where I am. And oh, thank you, Cody. The request. Yeah, that's the link for the Dropbox. You guys, there's no logging in. You just put your first name and an email, and that's it to the Dropbox one. And the email stays private too. We don't even see that, but the video will upload, and I'll be able to retract that. You know, my idea to sell painted cat turds didn't go anywhere. It didn't. Did you? You should go on Shark Tank. Gig, and I'm finishing a 3-hour block in 1.4 hours for $84. See, that's where, like, when I've done the Curry routes, that's what I love about them. They never went to the full hours, and you get paid for the full hours, and you use their vehicle. I mean, that's pretty tight. Those are hard to come by, though. They really are. Do some stacking and routing, Steve. Josh, I have been on for 42 minutes, and I have not had one order. And I'm in a hot zone. I'm right between all kinds of restaurants. But I'm a bottom feeder dasher. I'm a 14%er. You know, but that's my right as an independent contractor. So again, guys, I know there are ways to fix that, and I don't. If for those of you that need that part of the app, I have Curry. I know a lot of people don't have Curry, or maybe it doesn't do in their market what it does for me. And there are other apps that do that in other markets for some other off-brand apps for other people in their markets. Great, because you know, I mean, like if you need DoorDash, I get that it feels like Joe always says, you need to play the game, you know, like I just won't play the damn game because I understand independent contractorship, and I'm fighting this to the T. I mean, Mike and I are actually fighting this. In fact, I'll share later this evening, I will share a tweet. It'll have to be a community post of a tweet or a DM on Twitter that Mike sent me about what transpired today because of some of your videos. No joke. He got another guy on board that he's known in DC to help. These are very strong, you guys. You guys are doing amazing jobs. Amazing jobs. But Josh, I can't stack because I haven't had one order. What am I going to stack? Nothing on nothing on nothing? I mean, I haven't had one. Now, I keep saying this, to be fair, I did start the Dash. pause it, start it, pause it, because I have to schedule, like, you guys know how it is. I have to, I mean, if you're at the bottom, if you're in the low acceptance rate, you got to schedule like 7 days out every time. Like I'll have to schedule when it drops so I can get the next 7th day out every time. And I don't do enough because I'm really just doing testing for pulse tonight. So at least that part's going right. And I got a screen recording going down here. So that's fine of the pulse part because I'm getting that in real time and I'm sitting in a hot zone. But what I'm not getting is orders, none. But yeah, there's nothing to stack her out. Plus, you know me, Josh, I wouldn't. I mean, I would love to stack some curry like back in the day, but hey. And Ellen, I'm glad he is on our side helping us. You damn right, because I am on your side and I am trying to help everybody, myself included. And what they're doing is wrong. So Ellen's 100% right. And I got everybody's back. I will, you know, I've had it. I've had it with these apps saying we're independent contractors because you know what? I would never be an employee of any of them. Never. Not a chance. And none of you should. All of you I know most of you in here tonight, at least the ones commenting, I can say all of you are better than that. You should never have a W-2 for these companies. You can all do better. If it came to a W-2 and a must, you can all do better. So that tells me something. We're working these apps, but none of us would work for them. And again, I don't even think the people who want to be employees writing into congressmen would work for them. And if they did, I think they'd get fired because those are the people not hustling. And I understand there's some factors that are triple oversaturation, this, that, and the other, but there are ways to correct it. Again, this is where I'm on a weird space because I won't do it. I won't play the game of acceptance rate. But if you really wanted to say, okay, you know, I'm not seeing anything anymore and you're a 14%er like me, but you don't have other revenue streams coming in, you need that. Maybe until things get changed, again, not for me, but maybe that's something you need to think about. Do you want to play the game for a minute till we get it fixed? I mean, there's always a way to hustle. I doubt any of us just love delivering food. We do it because, well, you know, but there's something, let me see. I doubt any of us just love delivering food. We do it because we have our own schedule and want to stay independent. Yeah, I know we don't maybe love delivering food, but maybe, you know, maybe it's not the worst thing either, is I guess what I'm trying to think of, you know, like, because if you have to think W-2, and again, this gets messy because W-2 isn't this job, but I mean, like, if you had to go back to a W-2, that job security is gone as well. It's gone, you know? So, I mean, it's like, you're taking a job, you're just hoping that you'll be able to hang on to it. It's not like the days of super appreciation, except for, I mean, of course, there's positions out there and things and good bosses, and of course, but a lot of jobs are just, they're not, you don't have the security you once did. So I think the independence is the true part. And if this food delivery leads you to other paths or lets you meet people, great. If it doesn't, and you don't, and you like, and things can get a little more sorted out, and it can stay independent, and you can pick the orders you want, and you can work on your time and make the money you need to, well then, you know, I'm all for these. I do think they're a hybrid of a traditional, true independent contractor. So I think that's where it gets sticky, and that's where both sides use it to their advantage. Well, there's no definition. Yeah, why didn't any dumbasses write some, you know? 40 minutes and still no order. No, well, so I'm behind, Cody, so it's, I gotta take the 5 off. 49 minutes and no order. Nothing. Orders on some restaurants say Prop 22 feet, $2.99. So Edward, I was gonna ask you that. So, okay, that is a from what I've been told, that is a dynamic number, not a static number. So it's not like if you order DoorDash, Instacart, Grubhub, Uber, Lyft, if you use any of them, it's not like $2.99 is the Prop 22 fee on every one. It can vary. It can go up from there. It can go, I think it can go down too. I do believe it can go I mean, obviously they could go to zero, but I think that I've heard that the companies can go $2, but I've also heard it can go higher too. What's up, Red? How you doing? I don't hide comments unless they're a total a-hole. I know you don't, Josh. I appreciate that. And Josh, Gary said you're joining us on Sunday. So Sunday fun day, but you got to practice ELE. Everybody love everybody. I seen a triple spark for 12 miles. 2 drop-offs were inside the mall for $8. Oh my God. I'd rather go have a tooth pulled and paid for it. Just for fun. Little V. Hey, Brian, what's up? Have it your way. Brian does a lot of last mile too, so he knows what the hell. I'm surprised Brian's on this stream. Like, of all the streams I do, Brian, you're like on the DoorDash one. Maybe it's because I put low AR. You're like, oh, cool, man. Like a reality stream. Something I can relate to. But like Brian knows. I mean, yeah, he's on DoorDash too, but he doesn't count on DoorDash. He makes his money off his damn cargo van, and not just Curry, and on a lot of apps. So he does like me. We morning hustle and all that. And same here. I'm really enjoying rideshare. Are you doing rideshare too? I'm back on Uber rideshare, and I have a ton of Lyft, but I never reactivated after the pandemic. I don't know. I didn't really see the need. To be honest, I didn't think Lyft would be around much longer, so like I never kept it up to date. I'm sure I could bring my account right back, but does Pulse show your area is active? Yeah. No, dude. It's not popping right now. And I'm not talking about Pulse, the area. Like there's 57 users on Pulse right now in the area providing info. And there's, where I am, there's activity. And if you're using Pulse, red is food delivery, green is rideshare when those dots come up. But I think, there's a legend right there, but I'm just telling you. So I'm not in an area at all, and I already know this, where there's no rideshare need. But where there's this is a ton of food, and it's a hot zone, and I'm where I should be. It's just trash. It's a nice change of pace, and the people I pick up are 99%. Yeah, dude, totally, man. I loved rideshare. Again, coming from the bars and stuff too, it really was an easy, another easy thing to do to make money, especially back when I started, but even now, like rideshare can be very good, dude, especially if you're somebody if you feel comfortable doing it, man. It really comes down to that. If you do gig work, rideshare's different. I get that. And do you feel comfortable doing it? I do. I've been working the service industry my whole life, so I do a lot of networking during rideshare. Yeah, why wouldn't you? An independent contractor. Hell, Traveler. I never got to the point I needed to do this, but if I was doing a lot of rideshare right now, I wouldn't just be like, I used to have two pilots who needed, who were using Uber, and one of the guys I got, and somehow we got to talking, and he flies out of Denver all the time. He didn't want to put his car there, and he just takes Uber. And we got to talking, and then I gave him my information, and not a business card. I just kind of wrote it out, kind of thing. Like, I would have a business card these days, and I'd say, hey, I wouldn't every rider hand it out, even though you are allowed to. You're an independent contractor. You are allowed to do that. I know it feels sketchy, but you are. But I'm telling you, I would do it because I don't want to see anybody get in trouble. So if you don't think that way, don't do it. I would be on the phone with Brian Greening from Legal Rideshare if either company said, hey, he handed out a card and we let him go. Okay, really? Okay. You know, I would take that to the T. But yeah, network the crap out of yourself, man. Why not? I mean, again, what is it? What's the free one? Vistaprints. Go to Vistaprints.com. Go to Vistaprints.com and have it. You can get, I think you can get free, like 250 free cards. It just says Vistaprint on the back. You can choose a style, put your name, email, or anything else you want to put. You know, local rideshare driver, and hand it out to all the good people. And same like with Josh or whatever. You know, like, hey, you're good. You're, you know, here you go. Here you go. You know, like, to the people you connect with, that you vibe with, you know, in the rides. You know, I think we all know, if you've done rideshare, you're doing rideshare, you know who the people are that you're absolutely certain they're not going to call and get you in trouble. You're okay to do it. But I wouldn't just go openly crazy, even though I know I'm allowed to. That's where it gets weird. Brian, I've got a ring. It says, like the Will Ferrell one? Because in my thumbnail for Sunday Funday this week is the ring on his finger. Yeah, I got another vehicle, 2017 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. What is the Mitsubishi Outlander? Is that like a big SUV? I can't remember what that one is. Been doing rideshare for almost 2 weeks now. Okay. Green, blue, or pink at red. Okay. I'm cherry picking personal clients. Yeah, exactly, dude. See, Brian knows, man. I don't know Brian for 1 minute, man. He knows. You know how I know Brian knows? Because Brian knows that fucking lettuce is the shit, dude. And for those of you that don't, you've heard me playing it in here. I don't know why. I don't play you all my music, but you know what? If you don't listen to lettuce, I don't know what's wrong with you, dude. Well, you don't have to do it all day, but man, come on. Lettuce, you owe me one. I use Rideshare to screen my customers. You use Rideshare to screen my customers. Wait, what? I use Rideshare. Oh, like which ones you? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. What up, Derek? How you doing, man? Are you out working? What's up with it? We're just chatting, man. It's been 57 minutes that I've been on DoorDash without one order. Now, I know my AR is low, and I know I keep needing to put this caveat in there. I know that I hit start dash, and then I know that I hit pause. I know I hit start again, pause. For the first hour that I was supposed to be dashing, I paused it twice, basically. But I had to, because I scheduled that a week out. I really need to start putting it on my calendar that I'm scheduling like this. I'm used to when I've done all the testing I've done over the years for Para with DoorDash. It's most of the time, again, this has only been recent, I even turned it back on, but it's been that those times when almost everybody can dash now, or you could dash now always, kind of thing. And I don't know. It's I'm having to schedule everything. I definitely can't get. I was saying earlier, I can't just dash now. There's sometimes it'll come down to my phone, like it's busy now in your area. You want to dash, but I'm talking like once a week at best these days. Otherwise, you gotta do that. I'll post a picture in your Discord, so in 3 months you'll see. Dude, Brian, the problem is that Brian's not lying. I'm just, guys, I'm not sure what to do with Discord. I mean, if people really wanted me to do it, I'd do it. Or if somebody wanted to run it, hell, go ahead. And I'd even come in to get into the conversations. I don't know all the perks, and I wonder what they truly are to Discord too. I'm on all these other platforms. I work with Para, I do laser work, I do this, that, the other. I mean, like, I'm just pretty busy. I would absolutely, and I'm not saying it like I won't do it. If I could see the reason or understand it, I would do it. If people really wanted me to do it, I would do it because I already have it set up. I just always forget to go in there. You're done for the. I'm about done for the day too. You know what? Like the funniest thing is, my dash only goes another half hour, 34 minutes. To be honest, like I haven't seen any offers. Like, is it literally just gonna? I know I didn't. I know I didn't turn it on the first hour, but is it literally just gonna um, let me sit here the whole time? I mean, I can move, but I mean, right now I'm in the brightest area too. I can't even get to a much better one. So, um, maybe I think what I might do is, here soon, I might just end this dash because why the hell would I stay on it? I mean, this is ridiculous. This isn't, and earn by time was locked, but I wouldn't do that. That's a whole nother fight that we need to talk about. But it was locked anyway. But so when I'm coming on to a scheduled, I guess to really be able to say this, because I just can't tonight. Because I did the pause thing, but I wasn't doing it to screw around either. I would have jumped up and did that, had I not been shutting down my day and doing other things. I would, it came up as that half hour notice. Hey, you're scheduled to dash. I'm like, crap, I forgot it. I always forget I'm doing this. I'm going to have to start incorporating it into my calendar, which is something I've never done. I like Brian saying, this is why I have started really liking Rideshare and whatnot. Well, guess what? I'm out here. Yes, of course I want orders, but I'm out here doing testing for Parapulse too. So there's a purpose to me being out here. But of course, why wouldn't I want to make some money on top of that? I'm not expecting the world, but so, I know it's Friday night too. And I know a lot of people, again, market dependent. I know a lot of people are like, Josh is always an advocate of this, and I agree with him. The weekends are for rookies. Some people have the weekends down, and that is what they can nail. So they have their little times. That's fine. But I guess my point is even with the BS games, DoorDash isn't even giving me a chance tonight to up my AR. Would I? No. I would sit here and do what I always do and cherry pick and take the orders that make sense to me, which I expected to see at least a handful and turn down a lot. But, nothing's coming in. So like when I get on, and you guys all know this, it says things like, hey, get your acceptance, if you've been under, get your acceptance over 50 and, that kind of stuff. It's like, well, you're not letting me. I'm right here. So, yeah, sitting in parking lots for 40 minutes without getting any, yeah. And it's a Friday night. I know some of you, most East Coast, Derek and I, at least, I don't know if any other, who else, Colorado was in here, but Mr. DSN, Derek and I, we're here in Denver. It is 7:28, so it's 7:30 on Friday night. This should be, it shows a red zone right now. It's ridiculous. It's mentally, physically, and spiritually. Yeah. And the spiritually part, I totally, if other people aren't resonating with that, I do. I totally know what you're saying, man. There's something to, like, to counter that point, to show the polar opposite. I would say, like, there's something spiritually for me that's very zen and whatnot, not only snowboarding, but going up to snowboarding, driving up into the mountains out of Denver. I don't mind being in the car, but don't just leave me sitting here thinking that I'm gonna see offers and at least see something to make some money on, and you didn't even show me anything. Now I scheduled, I get that, but nothing. This is the first time I've ever seen nothing. And I'm sure they're going to end my dash when the dash time ends. Again, my bad. I do need to put it in my calendar, because I am going to make sure that this isn't often I do it, but if I'm doing it and I'm testing it, I'm going to make sure I put, hey, I'm on here. into my calendar so that I'm not in a day notification ahead of time. I've just never needed to do it till now. And I don't do a ton of DoorDash. I'm up in the early mornings still doing curry and other things. So, downtown says busy and it says dash along the way. I know downtown like the back of my hand. It's always busy. There's always tons of stuff going on down there, but I feel like that's just a trap too. Like my options here are just, I'm doing the testing right now. If I weren't, I'd be home or I'd be turning on other apps. Absolutely. I would not just be sitting here with DoorDash staring at it going, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, it's horrible. And maybe I start, maybe it's partially with my zone too. I don't know. Maybe one of the things I need to try is different zones, because I do see from time to time, I do notice that there are other zones that aren't far from me. I mean, the Denver metro area has like 15 zones. So there are other zones that I could go dash in that do seem to offer more, like, Monday or Tuesday next week. Like right now, I see Friday through Thursday, right? You guys know how that works. Well, so I see Friday through Thursday. If I hit Thursday, no time slots are available yet. They won't be out yet. So, but if I hit any of the other days in my area, there's nothing. Yeah, I'm about to call it quits, Ellen. I hear you. If I was really, I mean, like I got my screen recording of Para, to be honest. I mean, I see other drivers. Nobody's doing anything. I'm looking at the restaurants. They're dead. I don't know. I mean, there's people coming to, there's a Domino's right here. There's people coming to pick up their food. I mean, not even their drivers going out. Their drivers are over there. And our Domino's has deals. If you come to pick it up, you save a lot of money. So it's like, people are watching their money too. I mean, it's a perfect storm. But I mean, I do curry every morning, you guys. I mean, we all have a way of making our money. I make my money before noon, and then I go and make my other incomes. I just can't sit around and wait for DoorDash to correct itself, because the trajectory of every gig app ever is pay decline. And it doesn't matter. You can say oversaturation, this, that, the other. It doesn't matter. It always has the honeymoon period, and then it's pay decline. Even curry, it's much less, and I see more orders. So I have a good balance with curry. But with the other ones, and everyone, it's down. It's a downward slope. Like nobody in here can ever say, well, Instacart once raised prices for drivers. It's never happened on any platform. From inception to launch to today, it's never happened. And Ellen, thank you for the suggestion though, because if I was doing this other than I mean, of course, like I said, I wanted money, but to be honest, I'm out here doing this for Para stuff. I do a lot with Para. Behind the scenes, and you guys know that merchandising was my baby with Para, and that turned into Para Works with me and a couple other people. Both Ellie and Chan are no longer at Para. So it's just me and Amanda now. I've even been turned over to the TikTok channel because they saw I blew mine up. So they were like, okay, you take it over. You start doing the TikTok. So I'm going to be doing Para TikTok from here. No, thank you. You guys, I'm sure you guys remember I live in a migrant city now, right? They are everywhere. It's ridiculous. And it's for some people, it's scary. There's people everywhere right now. I can see them. So, but yeah, Ellen, anyway, absolutely I would. So if I was out here just trying to hustle, yeah. But what I need to do for Para is sit in a heat zone. And like I said, yeah, I could go across the street to Northfield. I could go here, I could go there. I could drive my car more, but I'm sitting between, and I'm not even kidding, like within a mile radius of me, there's 20 restaurants, and I'm not kidding. I'm right by the highway, right off the highway at, well, I won't say exactly where. All of them lower now than even 4 months ago, even crazy. Yeah. Well, I mean, Brian, I don't know about you. Well, you were on, because you were on the bidding side of Curry, but I'm seeing way, like, okay, so what is it, May or June? Okay, so we'll say June. June is going to be my 3 years on Curry. And I can say this, I have seen more opportunities, not high paying offers January, February, but more opportunities in January, February than I ever have on the offer side, not the bidding side, the offer side. And I'm talking 15 times as many. And they're all still $2.50 to $3 a mile local. So to be honest, Curry's still good for me, even in the winter. And to be honestly, it's never been good. It's never good in the winter. Like when I say the volume's way up, there is usually no volume in the winter here. Like until spring comes around. Yeah, I know every market's different. If you were to live in somewhere in, Florida or something, maybe it would, maybe that would make a difference too, because it's year round for construction. But I know the Florida market isn't as strong as ours, but I wouldn't see many orders until like mid-March. And then by late March, April, then it gets booming because that's when everything's happening. So, but I hear you, Brian. I mean, that's part of the problem is that, like, look, we are in a migrant city now. I straight up live in one. I didn't want it this way. I still don't. And there's mass oversaturation on the apps, and they're loving it. They're taking advantage of it. So, one of my catering apps, all communication is through Discord. Okay. No, I wasn't on the bidding side. I used to ask them for rates back when we could actually get support. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Brian, I think you were in another live of mine, and you're like, well, I know what to do. I just called Jesse because Steve introduced me to him. And Josh does. What I really try and do with the good drivers who I know really bust asses, I do try and put you in touch with people at Curry. And I kind of shove them down Curry's throat a little bit too. So, I mean, I'm like, you got to talk to him, like... And I mean, Brian, they love you. You've given them good insights and whatnot. But it's just better to talk to these people, and it shows that they're a better company in my book. That alone too, because they do take the time to talk to us. No joke. Now they wouldn't want me sending every single person with a problem because of course, some people's problems are just not even legit. But there are legit problems, and at least they acknowledge they have problems and try and fix them. Most apps don't even do that. Yeah, I've never handcalled. Well, maybe you should. Dude, he loves feedback. Trust me. One thing about, you don't need to call him, but text him. And then if he wants to get on the phone with you, he'll say, hey, you got time for a call? Because he wants to know. He came over from JW Hunt. He was the director of logistics for JW Hunt Trucking. And he came over to Curry, and his job was to get all this straight. He gets very mad when things happen that are wrong. And he's, like me, he's very much on our side. He's like a team member of Curry, and I know all the teams, so I can actually say this, who really, has our backs. But guys, that's 78 minutes. I'm not even going to let it have the pleasure, because I have this feeling it's 7:40 and I'm only scheduled till 8. I have this feeling that around 7:50, 7:55, they're gonna send me a decent order in my mind. One that maybe if I was on a roll I might grab, or something long distance, but it pays a little better than I'd thought. And then I have a feeling that they'll make me drive all the way back, and they'll end my dash anyway because there's not the volume, just to keep me on for that little bit more in case they see the volume. It's just the way I feel. I feel like if I stay on, I will see one offer before the end of the hour. But I don't want to wait that long to see how crappy it is. And I'm not in a position I need to take it. In fact, when I saw this pop up, I was kind of done for the day. I didn't want to do this dash tonight. I've worked my ass off this week. And last week, I drove to New Mexico. I drove to Truth or Consequences, New Mexico from Denver and then back. I did a long haul curry. So like, I've earned my money in the last 2 weeks. I'm good. I mean, I don't have a Scrooge McDuck back door and I'm diving into a pile of gold, but I'm good. So why am I even out here? Well, I'm out here testing, but I was also out here. Every time I turn it down, guys, I got to tell you, I hope to be proven wrong. I hope to see a change for the better. I know it won't be a pay thing or whatnot, but I also know these companies should be more scared about the legislation that's coming. I've seen it. I mean, and I've seen that they have the votes in many places. So like they know what's coming and they keep adding more problems. And I feel like Uber Eats isn't what it used to be, but Uber's in a position to just kind of, not that DoorDash would ever, DoorDash isn't going out of business. They'll be around, of course. But I feel like Uber Eats is just kind of waiting to harp on that moment when they can bite them. Because as we know, like Cheyenne on the round table, she lives up in Montreal, Canada. And she said that, so they don't have Grubhub, but they have Skip the Dishes. That's their version. And she said that it's Uber is 80% of the volume. Then it's like Skip the Dishes is like 15. Then DoorDash is like 5% of the orders she sees. Here it's the market share is DoorDash, but only here because DoorDash isn't anywhere else. So right now it's just how low the original orders are being. Yeah. Well, I have a theory to that too, Brian, that they do I don't know how familiar you are with the customer side, but Curry has, and they're actually working, they're just being, you have to be very careful when you make a change to a customer like this, but the customer can offer whatever they want. Curry has a timetable, how quickly they'll move it up. So like, I don't know, again, just throwing some numbers out before I shut this stream down. We're about to end, guys, but like, so, smack that like, by the way. But so like, if they, if I'm the customer and I say, I want this done and I put in my bid, $40, Curry does have a system that comes back and will say, like, maybe Curry knows most of the time these go for 70. 40 is pretty low. So it does have a system that says, hey, it doesn't tell the customer that's a little low, you should make it higher. What it does is it has a clause that says it varies on how low it is. Like if they know it should be 100 and you bid 25, it's going to go real quick. It's going to say, we'll put it out there as you want it because that's how their platform works. But it'll say, but it's going to raise this percentage until it gets to this at this rate, and that rate shortens as you bid lower. The problem right now is like last mile, I had Geezer on Wednesday, right? Kid Geezer. He uses the term all the time, thirsty. Right now, there's new onboarded people, and there's just people who are so damn thirsty, they're just taking things. Almost like we see on DoorDash. So, it's like on DoorDash, it's a little different, but you see people taking these orders like for $1. You're like, what are you doing? There's no tip. And what are you doing? You're losing money. But when you talk about the B2B last mile space and stuff that Brian and I are chatting about, yeah. But Brian, I don't know. You're in Pittsburgh, cold winter. I know construction still goes on. It does here too. I feel you across the board on the gig apps. Yeah. Last mile. All the spaces are hurting, but I know for a fact, for me and the people I talk with, last mile, off brand, staying away from the brand, the giants is making most of the people I know more money. Like Kim is mixing it up huge. She's not doing much Spark anymore. But she does a lot of delivered. She's doing this. Everybody's kind of branching off finally into these off-brand apps that do pay a little better, but just don't have as many offers in a day. Well, my thing is everybody's market is super slow. Let's get through the winter. And I got my 5. Yeah, I remember you got your 5 on Curry Traveler. That's awesome. Yeah, and again, so that, I mean, Brian can tell you that too. Um, one of the biggest things about Curry, and I know some of the other apps do it too, like even a Roadie, but it doesn't, but it's like, what does Roadie really do for you? But with Curry, there is no acceptance rate. So, I mean, having that is great because it doesn't matter. Now you're allowed to cherry pick away. You don't need to take, you can just sit there and wait for the ones you want. It's just that when they onboard into your market, you'll see people taking crap. And then that makes certain people think, oh, this app's crap because all I'm seeing is crap. No, that just probably means they onboarded some people. Because Brian and I can tell you when people aren't as thirsty, as Geezer says, those orders on Curry go up quick. And in the spring, summer, when the volume on Curry triples, quadruples, even the amount of drivers right now are barely enough to handle it. So the prices do jump and there is a little more selectiveness. Usually in the past couple of years, I wouldn't count on Curry at all right now. In fact, this is when I'd usually focus on all my snowboarding. It was actually working out great, and my other independent contractor things that I do. So, yeah. Rideshare or catering, with the exceptional courier, roadie, or dispatch. Or Senpex. What the hell is Senpex? Why? And or laughing out loud. What is Senpex though? For real, I don't even know if I know that one. Carnifage and Bordura. Hey Bordura. Hey Carnifage, what's up? Just waiting to see when Curry starts. Yeah. I have some thirst. That's the problem, you guys, is even with the last month. I mean, look at no app is safe right now from, as Geezer says, thirsty people. They have spread like wildfire. That's why I am not so opposed to these caps. Here's why. I'm gonna end this at 90 minutes, and it's 80. So we're at 87 minutes. I got 3 minutes, but I'm not opposed to the caps. Here's why. Because it will mean you will do better when you're out there. I know it will suck for a lot, but if we've already toughed through tough times, if we can tough through the cap of a market, right, then people will fall off. And if you aren't noticing it, and you're probably not because of the quadruple oversaturation, but people are already going back to W-2s. And then some people I know have already gone back to a W-2, lost the job or quit in a week, and are already back to gig apps. So there's some exchange going on. But the thing is, if we've already made it through so many tough times in the gig app space, that why wouldn't you be okay with a cap? Just tough through it, get through it, and and then wait for some people to fall off, because not everybody can't just sit here and make nothing. They can't. I mean, I'm out here tonight, and I'd be very mad if I was out here tonight needing to earn this money, but I've already worked a lot this week. I'm good. I mean, of course I can always use more money, but I'm out here more testing for para and doing stuff, and I'm nothing. I mean, I turned it off now because I didn't want to get that last one, but I think this cap thing, I see why all the states are adding it. I don't like a lot of the other things some of the states are asking for, but I see why they're adding it. Absolutely. Without a cap, it's such a mess. There's no work. Sometimes there's more drivers than there are orders. I mean, I know that's an exaggeration, but not much. So, that said, you guys, happy Friday. I'm gonna drop 13 minutes tomorrow. I'm not sure who I'm gonna pick on. I'm gonna pick on somebody. I thought it was gonna be DoorDash, and it might damn well be, especially after this. I'm gonna just need to find my unique edge. But that's gonna be it for me for tonight, you guys. And when I get home here in a little bit, I might pop on and do a quick live TikTok, because I can. On those, 10 minutes is about enough. So if you're on TikTok, I might be over there for a minute ranting and raving. But you guys, thanks for hanging out, and Be safe, earn smart, you know, and take the orders you want, and be good to each other, and have a great weekend. Talk soon.